Last year, 17-year-old Trey Grinner was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, but he was determined that his battle against cancer would not interfere with his dreams of becoming an investment banker on Wall Street. That wish has now become a reality, kinda. Trey has an internship at Goldman Sachs this week, thanks to a helping hand from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Trey, how did this all, welcome, first of all, how did this come about? Did Make-A-Wish find you? Did you find them? And then how did you get put together with Goldman?
Yeah, so when I was diagnosed at the hospital, I was assigned a social worker, and the social worker said, because I'm under 18, I would be able to be granted a wish. So my mom wrote the Make-A-Wish Foundation saying, hey, maybe I might be a good candidate for, getting a wish granted. And they came to my house, interviewed me, and were immediately surprised with what I wished for.
Yeah. Well, that is I mean, most guys your age might well want to spend a day with Jay-Z or LeBron or whoever, but you chose investment banking because you had gotten really obsessed with the idea of picking stocks, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It started off as just a little thing at school. I was
an investing competition, sort of?
Yes, an investing competition at school, and I began to get obsessed with the concept of why these move, why prices move in the way that they do, and how you can analyze these different ways to analyze it, technical, fundamental.
And you started with $50,000 of imaginary capital and turned it into $70,000. I want to introduce you to a fellow who knows a little bit about why prices move and has turned some money into bigger money. Do you know anybody in Omaha? You ever heard of Omaha?
I have heard of Omaha.
Do you know who lives in Omaha?
I do not.
Warren Buffett lives in Omaha. Mr. Buffett, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
This is Trey. Meet Trey. Trey, meet Warren Buffett.
Yeah, I want to give him $50,000 and have him turn it into $70,000 for me.
Yeah, wouldn't you love that?
Yeah, it's a little difficult, particularly on days like this.
Yeah, it sure is. What advice would you have, Mr. Buffett, for a guy like Trey who says he wants to go into investment banking? What would you tell him to do?
Well, I think he's doing exactly the right thing. He's looking to do what he loves, and I think the idea of being back there and getting to see what it's all about at Goldman and getting to talk to you, he's exactly on the right track. And getting started young, there's nothing like it.
Trey, you have Mr. Buffett on the phone. What do you want to know from him?
Oh. What are you in? What's in your portfolio today, Mr. Buffett? How are you feeling about the retracement?
Yeah. I see you've been talking to those people at CNBC.
Yes, sir, I have.
Well, we publish what we owned regularly. Well, my portfolio is 99% Berkshire Hathaway, but I don't recommend that for you. What I would like to do, though, is I understand that you're being shown around Goldman, and I'd like you to have me become your agent because they're going to try and sign you up, and I think that the two of us working together could make a better deal with Lloyd than if he has you all to himself, because we can get Jamie Dimon into the act and have everybody competing for your services if we play this right.
I think there is Trey with Mr. Blankfein earlier in this week. He's also, Mr. Buffett, met Derek Jeter at Yankee Stadium earlier this week. It's been a great week for him. I have to ask you, I'm sure a guy like Trey wonders what you're thinking on a day like this when the market is down 240 points. What would you tell him?
I like anything. I like if they mark down hamburgers, if they mark down underwear, anything I buy, I like when it's marked down. So the lower prices go as long as you know the companies you're investing in. The better it is for a buyer of investment. So. Down days always make me feel good.
Yes, sir.
What would you, Trey, tell Mr. Buffett what you plan to study when you enroll in community college later this year, and I'd like to get Mr. Buffett's reaction as to whether that sounds good to him or not.
Well, I plan to cross-major in econ and finance. The two degrees are only a couple classes off of each other, and to get both is even better.
Yeah, and Trey, the one thing I'd recommend is you take all the accounting courses that you can find. Accounting is the language of business, and there's nothing like, getting it early and sort of getting it into your system. So whenever you get a chance to take an accounting course, jump on it, and it'll make it so much easier, for years and years to come in reading financial statements. Yet to get comfortable with it, because it is a language all of its own, and getting comfortable in a foreign language in effect takes a little experience, a little study early on, but it pays off big later on.
Yes, sir.
How
Thank
would
you.
Mr. Buffett, would you counsel ordinary investors or a guy like Trey, who's out there trying to make some money in his personal portfolio, to factor in all of the various cross currents that we hear in the market on a day like this? The idea that wage inflation is coming back. Argentina is defaulting on its debt. There's increased tension in Europe, and the European economy may not be good. How should people think about that on a day like this, where they see a very immediate effect in the prices of their stocks?
Yeah, well, if they're in a good business and they've got some spare money and they like buying it yesterday, they should like buying it better today. It really, the day-to-day stuff doesn't make any difference, and you know, the trick in investing is to buy good businesses and hold them for a long time and make a lot of money doing so. And it's a mistake to pay attention to the day-to-day fluctuations. If you found a good business in your hometown to buy into it as a private business, you wouldn't think about buying and selling it every day just based on headlines. You'd concentrate on buying the best business you could and having the best management there that you could have.
If you liked it yesterday, you might want to buy even more of it today. Mr. Buffett, thank you so much. Trey, any final words or questions for Warren?
Well, I think your advice is really good on buying the retracement. If you liked it then, you're going to love it now.
And
Dow's down, and I think it's a good time to re-up on positions.
Trey, we'd love to have you come out to the Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting, too. I'd like to meet you personally.
Sorry,
I bet we can make that happen, Mr. Buffett. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks for the chance to talk to you.
Thanks for calling in. Trey, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Good luck. Let me ask you, how's your health?
Good. I finished chemotherapy a couple weeks ago, and I'm on trucking.